Bob, first of all, tell me, if you can think back to this, your favorite memory in the league.
My favorite memory in the league was a good one and a bad one at the same time. I'm playing with the New Jersey Nets. Our coach was Kevin Lockwood. We were to play the Houston Rockets. And Kevin said, I don't think Moses Malone can beat us by himself. So we are not going to double team Moses. I raised my hand up and I said, can I get a vote on this? I'm going to be stuck with Moses down in the post by myself? He toasted me for 52. We won the game by 8. So Kevin was correct.
It worked. That's amazing.
I think it was a good and bad memory. We won the game. Moses, he toasted me.
So you take the win.
I take the win every time. That's why we're here, right? We're here to win.
You are.
But I did need the jacuzzi after that game.
The ice tub, jacuzzi after?
I needed everything.
Everything? I'm curious what you think of the way the NBA has evolved today. I mean, it seems like every 10, 15 years, it's kind of new generation of evolution. Right. What have you made of the evolution of the NBA to today's game?
I think 2 players have become extinct from the past. The point guard that just ran the team and orchestrated everything, the coach off the floor. Now you got all 5 guys. You got people bringing it up. Everything's fluid. Okay, all 5 guys have to play all across the floor. The other is the big man. Because if 5 guys are out there playing all across the floor and being able to shoot threes, the big dominant center, it doesn't work. Things are moving too much. And the way the offensive schemes are now, back in the day, we used to call it pick and roll. Set a screen, big guy rolls to the basket, the other guy just set the screen before he shoots a shot. Then it became pick and roll or pick and pop. The big guy would pop out for the J. Now, it's strictly who's on the other team that's the weakest defensive link. Make that person come up and be in the picking, the screen. Make that guy switch onto the guy that you want to have guarding that, the guy guarding that defensive player is not that good. Now it's isolation. Take him.
You think switches are conceded too easily? You think switches are conceded too easily?
Not if it's a good switch. See, if you set a good switch, the guy coming off, option one is you come off and shoot your shot. So you have to set being a bigger guy, you have to set a good screen so that it makes the screen and the after part effective. So if you set a good screen, the guy comes off, you got a shot. Every play you want a good shot.
Right.
So it forces them to have to do the switch.
As a defense, though, would you prefer that guys fight over screens?
They never get there. If the guy setting the screen sets a proper screen, there's no sliding over it.
Right.
Okay. The best sound in the world as a big guy is to set that screen and hear the guy that you're sitting on go, That means you set a good screen. That means your guy is free now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm curious what do you make of people liking to compare eras in today's NBA? Like to compare to last generation, the previous generation. Obviously, skill levels evolve over time, but you think it's right to compare generations like this?
It's not right to compare generations because the rules are different. What you could do back in the day, you can't do now. Defensively, hand checking is what we lived on. Guy would say, I'm trying to go to my left. And you put your hand out there on his hip and his kidneys and say, you're not going to your left. I'm moving you to your right. You can't do that anymore. So the game has changed a lot in terms of the fluidity, getting all 5 guys involved outside, and the defense. You just can't do the things that you used to do.
Is there anyone who reminds you, today's NBA, of the way you played? I know the traditional big man isn't there anymore, but there are still some guys who have that kind of brute force, that physical dominance. Anyone who reminds you of the way you played?
Very good question. Very good question. I think a guy like LeBron having that size. But see, think of his size. He's 6'9", about 265, 270. But see, Magic was 6'9", but he weighed about 225.
Much lighter, yeah.
Yeah. See, so just think of the actual brute force that a guy 265, 270 can do compared to a guy 275. Yes, they're both 6'9". Yes, they can play the point. Yes, they can look over the top. They can make that pass. But if LeBron posted up at 265, 270, that's different than Magic posting up at 225.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big difference. Last one for you, I guess. Who's your favorite player to watch in today's NBA? Do you have a favorite player you like to watch?
So I went to the University of Arizona. There's a qualifier.
Okay.
Steve Kerr, who's the coach of Golden State. He's a University of Arizona guy. I love the way his team moves. I've been to some of their practices. That constant movement of everybody. See, back in the day, you used to talk about John Havlicek. Oh, he was always moving. That's one guy. Bill Russell down in the post. Nowadays, all 5 guys are moving. And one blip by the defense, and somebody's shooting a 3. And all 5 guys have to shoot it. So I like the way Golden State's offense is with the constant movement by all 5 guys.
Do you think San Antonio started a bit of that, or do you think that was more of a Steve Kerr thing?
Well, you got to think about Steve Kerr. And again, I'm prejudiced about Steve Kerr, a U of A guy, but his upbringing as a coach. Okay, so in college he had Lute Olson, who was at Arizona, who was a teacher. Then he also had Chicago Bulls with Phil Jackson, who was my former teammate with the New Jersey Nets. Okay, Phil was also academic in his approach, but he had the Zen deal going on, right? How to deal with the personalities of your players that you have. Then Steve goes to San Antonio with Popovich, who literally is a basketball genius. So Steve had tutors from those 3 guys. Now he gets up here taking pieces from all of them, and that's why he's going to be the USA basketball coach.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you, Bob.
All right, man.
Appreciate it.
Baby.
You as well.
All right.